Yo guys, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training 44 minutes. Welcome suspiciously to the stream. Yeah, basically, because I've been so busy with this 1c3 Venom promotion and marketing and replying to everyone, I completely forgot to mention that I'm actually heading to Serbia tomorrow. I mean, I almost forgot for myself, right? Like I've had so much on my plate. But I'm heading to Serbia tomorrow, and I'm heading to Serbia to play in a rapid tournament and two blitz tournaments, and also just in general catch up with some friends I've got there. Um, so yeah, basically, I'm gonna be in Serbia tomorrow. I'm gonna try and keep up the daily streams. But yeah, I'll be playing in these blitz tournaments, and I had a look at the evening blitz that is taking place today, and Alexi Serrana is playing. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm going to be playing in some events where these guys are playing. But I was looking at the lineup of players, and in fairness, there's still a decent number of Serbian players, which, okay, they're not underrated, I think, but at least they're not like, sorry, they're not overrated, but at least they're not like super underrated, right? But yeah, the lower end you see a bunch more like Turkish and Indian ratings. Look at these 1400 Indian guys. I wonder actually how they're doing. Let's check like the starting rank cross table. So right now this is actually only 7 rounds in. This is actually live, like they're playing right now. They're evening blitz events. So let's see. The Indians. Oh, they're not doing that well. They're not doing that well. Okay, they're not like super underrated then. Okay, that's good to see. I mean, they probably are still somewhat underrated, right? Like, yeah, to be, but then so are the Turkish kids. So basically, if you play one of the low-rated players, just play your absolute hardest, and then, okay, it looks like a decent mix. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna be playing some blitz. What is up, Sapsara Arav Gloin? I'm glad you have come back for a stream. Welcome, and welcome, Frizz. Hope you guys are all doing well. So basically, because I am playing in these tournaments, I thought today we would just grind out some more Woodpecker. I've kind of been all over the place with my schedule regarding this Woodpecker, but better just to get on with it and start training. So we're just going to do some of this today. I actually can't pack until I can pack my laptop, because my laptop needs to go in first if I want everything to fit. So basically, yeah, if I want to start packing, then I need to stream. So let's just do 44 minutes of this. Oh wait, I need to set the timer actually. Let me set the timer, and then I can do this. Then I've got one final thing on my laptop I need to sort out, and then I can begin packing. So yeah. Okay, so let's make this 10:25. Okay, that's close enough. That's close enough. Let's go with that. Let's begin. So yeah, you guys can try and solve this. I didn't tell your parents that you would lose. I told your parents that you're worse, and that is true. You're an exchange down against like a 10-year-old. Is she? I can't remember how old she is. Maybe she's 9. I think no, she's actually younger. I think she might be like, I think she might be 7 or 8. I think she might be 7 or 8. But no, she's really strong. She's really strong. So no shame at all. But yeah, good job for salvaging a draw. But okay, black to play. Let's begin. Need to get back in the flow of like seeing stuff, because I feel like I've been like, ever since the Leicestershire Rapid, I just haven't really been doing much chess at all. Wait, when was the Leicestershire Rapid? Okay, 2 days. I haven't been doing chess for like 2 days, so that's out of touch for me. Yeah, I definitely feel slow. I mean, to me, okay, how do we even solve tactics again? Okay, I need to evaluate the position. Okay, materials equal. For me, this knight g3 is the move that jumps out the most. But now I'm actually seeing maybe knight f2 makes sense because maybe this is actually going to be strong. Yeah, and then we get this shogi tactic, right? Where if the queen blocks, then we can give this check, and that's going to be devastating. Yeah. Because this situation is often when you've got like a dragon and they've got a dragon here, and then you can use like a piece to like drop or attack. So yeah, it's a very shogi tactic, this one. I'm pretty sure that's the answer. Oh, okay. And in this position, probably bishop takes. Nice. Why are you so quick first? Yeah, knight takes f2. Sharp. Welcome Jan to the stream. How are you? How's it going? Just bought your course and 20 chapters in. Wait, 20? Oh, you mean 20 variations? 20 variations in? And really like the way things are explained? Fantastic. Glad to hear things are good. Shogi tactic? Yeah, I mean, shogi tactic, I mean, shogi is just a harder game. Like, well, it's a really weird thing, right? Okay, hear me out, hear me out. Shogi requires better calculation skills than chess, but the attacks that you play in shogi, I can play better intuitive attacks in shogi than I can in chess. It's really weird, right? So attacking counts for more in shogi, counts for less in chess, and I'm bad at attacking, I feel like. So therefore you would think that in chess I would do better, but then when it actually comes to the attack in shogi, I find it easier to attack in shogi than I do in chess. So then that kind of balances it out as well. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. But yeah, definitely both of the games have their own dynamics, and definitely my style is then affected depending on the game. Like my strengths, right? But yeah, shogi's great. I love shogi. Not that I can remember all the rules. Like, it's been so long since I played. I must remember all the rules. Maybe it'd take like a game to get back into it. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine forgetting the rules of chess, but maybe the rules of chess are slightly simpler. Yeah, I am absolutely slow. Like if I'm as slow as this in tomorrow's, well, I'm not playing a blitz tomorrow. My first event will be Wednesday, so I'll be playing a rapid on Wednesday. But if I'm this slow, I'm literally gonna get slaughtered. I need to do a 24-hour stream the day before my tournament. I think that's the only solution. And play these like 800, 1000 level chess.com players who are just absolutely insane. Again, intuitively speaking, I really want to play this because I really want to give checkmate. And maybe here I can go like queen e3 or something. If that does anything. Maybe they just go king g2 and I get nothing. But then, to be fair, actually... Yeah, this is the one where you can... I always look at this queen e3 first, but the point is you can actually just take the rook already. And the point is queen can't take because then you take the bishop. If they take with the king, then you can take the bishop, queen takes, and you take the rook. So that's it. Nice. Did you guys get that? We pick up the bishop with rook f1. Bishop takes g3, fg3, queen e3. Yeah, so that's funny, Frizz. You also said queen e3, but you actually don't need it. Yeah. Please don't move country. I mean... Yeah, no, I'm moving country. Malaysia is the place to be. So, yeah, it's going to be good. But I'm still going to be doing these streams online and stuff. Like, I'm not going to be... I'm basically just going to be living my exact same life, just with better food, cheaper rent, and better weather. So, yeah. Wait, what if king takes at the end? If you take with the king, then I think you pick up the rook. Because you take the bishop anyway, the queen takes back the bishop, and then you win the free rook. The rook is hanging. No shogi? I haven't been playing shogi, no. Rook e3 looks good because of this, and then it's a free bishop, but is there something I'm missing here? They can't take the knight. What if they take this way? That looks kind of scary. Or is it? Could be a move order thing. I don't see it actually. Rook e6, queen b5, and then what? Or maybe rook e6, queen b5. Maybe I can sack the rook on e7, right? Rook e7, king e7. How exposed is that king? It's not that exposed. Yeah, you need 3 pieces to attack. Where's my third piece? I don't see it. Rook e6, queen b5. I've got a rook and queen attacking. If I sack the rook, then I've only got 2 pieces remaining. Okay, maybe I've got like queen bishop rook, like the rook on a1, but it feels so slow. Like they're definitely not in the attack right now. If they're all in the attack right now, then I play it, but they're not. So I have this feeling that maybe it's not enough. Like not sack the rook maybe. Like take and then maybe somehow just use a really strong move like bishop f4 or something. And I guess that way then, yeah, maybe this point of 3 pieces in the attack is legit and the rook is coming, and actually, yeah, making use of this pin is more important than trying to sack the rook to expose the king. Like the pin is going to be more annoying. So yeah, that looks good to me. This bishop f4 looks really strong. Aha, bishop h6. Bishop f4 is my move. Black can't move the king without giving up the pawn f7. Right, so if they try and castle queenside, then I've got queen f7. Rook e1 is also coming. Threatening the bishop and the pawn. Nice. Okay, Frizz went for the bishop h6. Very nice. Are you serious about moving? Of course, yeah. I've booked my flights already. Life's gonna be good. Life's gonna be good. I mean, basically, I'd be living exactly the same life, except that my apartment will have a pool and a gym. So, like, it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, like, you know, if my work is online, which it is, then yeah, it's a no-brainer. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna like move away forever. Like, it's mostly gonna be like traveling kind of vibe. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. The only risk to the chess streams and the chess work is if I somehow get into shogi again. Because, I mean, being in Asia, then there's going to be a lot more exposure to shogi. There'll still be some exposure to chess. But, yeah, that would be the only risk, I would say. If I suddenly catch the shogi bug again. But, I mean, we'll go with the flow. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'll be having fun, so... I don't see this one at all. You can tell, right? I'm like way slower than I normally am. Like I'm actually like unbelievably slow right now. Man gets rusty after one day of not doing chess. It's unbelievable. Alright, let me start fresh. So in this position, we got a slightly different pawn structure. I got this open B file, but our pawns are like somewhat hanging pawns. Got bishop pair. Black doesn't particularly have any weak pieces. I mean, maybe the knight on d5 and the bishop on e6 have a bit of pressure on them, but it's not so bad. You think maybe with the open pieces, like they can do something. So what candidate moves have I been looking at? So rook e6 is one, bishop d5 is one. Those are like the only captures. Bishop a3 was one. Bishop h6, sorry, is also one. So if bishop h6, pawn h6 is nothing. Unless bishop h6, pawn h6, rook e6, pawn e6, queen g6. Ah, maybe that's the point. Bishop h6, pawn h6, rook e6. We're up a pawn, so we have to take back. Queen g6, king h8. Take on h6 goes back to g8. Queen g6 goes back to h8, knight g5. And then if they go queen e7, queen e7 there. Ah, wait. Bishop h6, pawn h6, rook e6, pawn e6. Queen g6, king h6, queen h6, queen g8, queen g6, king h8. I can... Wait. Yeah, when I'm here and the king is here, I can take this pawn with check. And then I pick up the knight and then that's for sure good. Right? Or have I sacked too much? I win a pawn, I lose a bishop. I win a bishop. So I'm a pawn up. He wins a rook, so I'm for rook for a pawn. Then I pick up one pawn, rook for two pawns. Pick up the other pawn, rook for three pawns. And I pick up a knight. So I've got a knight and three pawns for the rook. Okay, fine. So here, and then I'm going to pick up e6. Yeah. Nice, 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 nice. That was actually really satisfying to do. Whoa, okay, I need to catch up a bunch of messages. I wish he still played shogi. Giant Blitz, when you mention like your 1700, are you 1700 shogi or 1700 chess? And regarding my rates, my hourly rates are £60 an hour for chess. So it is quite steep, but I also have some like options. So for instance, I have this Patreon, right? And I've got like a few slots. I think I've got like 1 or 2 slots remaining, where I can give like monthly lessons, where I will also like make sure that you're training hard and like working on your chess in the right way, like throughout the month. But then we just have one monthly lesson. I've got like a couple students doing that, actually 3 students doing that right now, and it's working out quite well. So that's maybe something you can consider. And right now I've priced that at £50 per month as like a subscription tier. So this could be something. But yeah, I mean, definitely like one thing I could recommend is like, if you like my teaching style, then yeah, we can definitely get set up. But if you're also wondering like how I teach, you can also check out the Chessable course that I've recently released, because that's gonna have like 16 hours of instructional material, and that's for a fraction of the cost, right? So that I mean, yeah, it depends what you're really looking for. Like, but also if you're stuck at 1700, like one thing that could be really good is also just signing up to the Regal Rapid tier, which is just £10 a month, where basically I will literally answer all your questions and try and solve your plateau and see if you can fix it on your own. Like, I wouldn't be like giving you like actual face-to-face lessons, but I'd be like sending you a bunch of text essays on how you can improve. So yeah, there's a few different things that I'm doing right now as a coach. Why not Rookie 6 first? Good question, Jan. I mean, I considered it like before I played Bishop H6. I was like, what if the move order matters? But I was like, Bishop H6 just feels like the better way to go, because you're winning a pawn, right? Like, he has to take if he doesn't want to be down a pawn. Whereas Rook E6 and they take back, you're losing a rook, right? You're losing a rook for bishop, and then when you take the pawn, you don't even have your full compensation back yet, right? You've got a bishop and a pawn for a rook. So you always want to, I don't even know how to describe or explain like why that makes sense, but it's just like, logically speaking, like you want to make sure you've got like some, it's like a safer move, right? Like Rook E6, pawn E6, bishop H6, they don't have to take on H6. Whereas bishop H6, you've already won a pawn. Only £60, and then there's Arabs saying like £60 an hour, like it's something crazy. Any broke students that can't afford Michael, please contact me. Arjun, are you actually coaching chess? I didn't know you were. If you are, I'll genuinely try and like help out. But that's cool. That's cool, Giant Blitz. I mean, we can work something out. I mean, what I would recommend is probably going through Patreon, and then we can go from there. But yeah, like sounds cool. I mean, I've got a couple. I mean, I'm pretty busy when it comes to coaching, but I'd say I've got maybe like a couple more slots to like maybe start something with another student. But for me, I always find that like, yeah, it takes quite a lot of energy and investment to yeah, be a coach for a student, like a proper coach. Like you get some lazy coaches, but like for instance, actually after the stream, I'm gonna have to spend like a good half hour, maybe more, like to sort out something for one of my students, because like yeah, he needs it, and yeah, I need to sort this out for him. So yeah, it's a commitment, right? But yeah, I've got some availability, I think. No, but would like to. Aha. How much did you start off at? That's a good question. I mean, I was quite lucky because I joined like this academy. So probably I would start there, right? Like if you join an academy for chess teaching, then you also get a bunch more students through them. And okay, you need to pay the academy a cut, but yeah, to be honest, actually, Arjun, I've got a video on YouTube called "How to Make Money from Chess." It was like an interview podcast type thing that I did on the channel, and I just recommend watching that. That's probably gonna have like a bunch of answers to your like coaching career kind of questions. 1800 in your prime, but never played as an 1800. That's very interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's a difference, right? Like people who play at a certain level and people who peak and max at a certain level. I would say, yeah, like both are completely fine ways of looking at ratings or going for ratings. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I feel like with any kind of coaching, for me, I would like be aiming to like elevate my students' game by like at least 100 points or more, right? Because I feel like um I should be able to be condensing information that would be taking them years to learn, either from like stumbling upon it in books or like just not picking up on that's their weakness in their game. And these kind of revelations that a coach can bring to a student basically just accelerates their learning massively. And if I'm not like raising their game by 100 elo, then probably I'm doing something wrong. Or yeah, that's what it comes down to, right? So I'd say 100 elo is probably the bare minimum of what I expect to raise for a student. But of course, yeah, I mean, it also takes some commitment from the student, right? Like if I'm giving all this advice and it's going in one ear and out the other, Arab, then yeah, maybe it's kind of like a problem, right? Uh, do I know anyone in Malaysia? Do you speak the language? Uh, I don't speak the language, but I do have a bunch of friends in Malaysia, and their English is very good there. And also, like, it's a really developed country. I feel like it's more developed than the UK in many respects. So I'll literally be fine. I mean, also like Malaysians, I found like there's two countries in the world, Malaysia and Greece. Both of these countries, the people are just like the friendliest, like I don't know, just like really. I mean, I think it's actually like there's like a study on like countries that have more extroverted or introverted people by nature, and I think like yeah, you have more uh extroverted per capita people in Malaysia and Greece. So which means it's just like a very friendly place, right? Like lots of outgoing, nice people. But yeah, let's actually solve some tactics. So I think this one is Queen D8, and then probably Rook H8, and then I take, and then probably take. Can't go to H6 because G6 is mate, and if he goes back to H8, do I have a mate? I can probably go back to F6 and then start giving checks on G6, maybe. I mean, it feels very promising, right? It feels very promising, and like maybe I'm missing like some sideline that makes everything faster. Now it has to be Queen F6, King H8, Queen F6, King G8 is forced. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, intuitively speaking, I really feel like that's a winning position, but I really want to get into the good practice of calculating because, you know, quoting that quote from Rowson's book, right? Like, are you going to trust your intuition or trust your calculation? And for me, I don't want to have to trust my intuition because I can't trust it, right? So, I mean, like, I can trust it most of the time, but I can't trust it in 100% of cases. So, that's why I really want to just calculate this out. So, Queen D8, Bishop F8, Rook H8, King H8, Queen F8, King H7, Queen F7, King H8, Queen F6, King G8. Queen G6, King back to H8. Oh, King back to H8, then we got Queen H7 mate. So King F8 would be forced, in which we can then go. Maybe we go bishop c4 there, threatening horrible mates. And I don't think there's any like counterplay. Like I don't think like queen e1 just king c2. I think it's fine. Like if I can go like queen f2 or something, I can go king b3, and with the bishop on c4, there's not going to be any more checks. I think. Yeah. I think honestly that calculation is enough. I will check with an engine afterwards to see if like it's winning. But yeah, I was going queen f6. Oh, they can actually fight on here, right? So to me, I felt like they couldn't fight on after bishop c4. That was my feeling. I felt like bishop c4, I'm completely winning here. So let's actually check if I'm correct. Maybe I'm wrong. So what are people saying? Call out? Hear my name? What are you guys talking about? What do you max elo for my new students, Michael? As in, like, what's the max elo that my students have got to, or like max? Like, what do you mean? Also, India, if you are white. What? Wait, that must have been talking about something I was talking about. Oh, like people are really friendly to you. I see. But that's kind of a different. That's not a good kind of friendly. My God, I mean, I've seen enough like cursed Instagram reels of like white girls going to like, you know, deep into India, and it's not a vibe. Let's leave it there. B1 French, nice. I always forget, is like A1 the highest, or is it like C3 is the highest? I can't remember which way round it goes. Oh, what's the max elo that I would accept as a student? Oh, I mean, like if a GM came up to me and said, Michael, be my coach, hell yeah, I'd do it. I mean, if he believes that I can actually bring something to him that he thinks he can benefit from, then sure. I mean, in a way, like Ravi Harrier, when he was like an IM pushing for GM, he chose me to be his training partner. And by training partner, it kind of meant coach, because basically we were taking it in turns to coach each other. So I guess, yeah, that's probably the strongest student I've ever had. So yeah, there's no max really. I mean, I actually think like stronger players should actually consider weaker players as potential coaches if they think that, you know, maybe their problems are motivation or something, and like I can do a good job of motivating them. Like there could be all kinds of reasons, but it's quite rare. Caius was coaching you? Seriously? When was that? Bishop c4, yeah, this was my move. Okay, +3, you know what? I'll take it. I mean, yeah, maybe black can play on, but, you know, at least I got to a point where I was feeling really comfortable with the resulting position. I was looking at this queen e1. I was like, there's nothing here. Yeah, this position's even +5. So, okay. Yeah, and this king b3 is really important, right? Like, your king is safe. So, yeah, I'm happy with my calculation there. But this bishop g6, I mean, I also considered this as well. I just wasn't 100% sure it was, like, completely winning, because I was kind of seeing some ghosts of like queen e1, king c2. If my king gets out to b3 and maybe there's some bishop e6, like I was seeing these kind of ghosts. But in fact, yeah, queen e1, king c2, there's no way for black to force the king to b3 while staying on the e file. So yeah, this is just completely winning. Yeah. But okay, I reckon I could get to this position and then recalculate and decide whether what I want to do, like in a real game, right? So I think it would be fine. I would say my favorite level of student is probably that intermediate level, because it means that I can like share a lot of advice. Like I have like huge amounts of advice. So actually like kind of like Arav and Safsara's level, where like we've been doing these Grand Prix sessions, I mean, I feel like, since the start of the Grand Prix, they've improved a lot. Okay, obviously it's not just me, like, it's, them training and playing and practicing, right? But I do think like the kind of advice and lessons I was giving, it was really high quality because I feel like the level was just like perfect where like they can appreciate it and it can be really beneficial. So I'd say like, yeah, um, this kind of intermediate level is probably like my best level that I'm able to coach, I'd say. Aha. I once made someone think I was 71 years old in a Blitz game, and the guy started asking if I was a rich French monsieur. What? Bro, how can... If you're 17... I actually didn't know how old you are for, so that's cool to know. But, yeah, if you are 17, how on earth did... Like, I guess it's online, right? Like, there's no way that in person you can pull that off. That would be wild. Um... You've already got an answer? Damn it, I shouldn't be checking chat. Knight bc5. How's Fritz so quick today? I mean, how? Pawn takes, knight takes, and then king c7. Ah, bishop f4. Very nice. And do you get enough? Do you get enough? You're getting like a rook and a pawn for... Or do you get more? Knight c5, pawn takes, knight takes, king c7, bishop f4, king b6. But then you can go... No, you can't. Maybe, yeah, you can take the rook, they take back, and then you take on e7, they take back, and you take. So what on earth was the material imbalance there? So knight c5, they take, you take. You're down a piece for a pawn. King c7, check, king moves, take the rook. So you're down, so you're now even, because you're a rook and a pawn for two pieces, but then you win an exchange. No, you don't win an exchange. You win two pieces for a rook. So by the end of it, you'll be 1 point up, which I guess is a good thing, right? I guess that's a good thing. And what's the difference of this knight bc5 or knight ec5? Is there a difference here? There might be. So somehow I even feel like knight ec5 is the better move because then the rook is revealed onto the knight, right? I feel like it's slightly more flexible. Maybe it doesn't make a difference, but in case it does, I'm going to go knight e. Okay, let's see if it actually did. Maybe it's going to say alternative, but maybe this is the way to go. Aha, bishop takes and then rook takes, and are we threatening this? Like, surely that's just a... Is that really enough? Takes, and what? We're equal in material. Oh, and we're not threatening this because there's a knight here. Hold on a sec. Also, one more thing about Malaysia. I'd say, like, I find it interesting that often people view like kind of stability in terms of like having like a stable location. So like, if let's say, you've been brought up in the UK and you understand how the UK works, and you want to live in your little village or town or city or whatever and do this life, I feel like you can shortcut your stability that way. But I feel like, for instance, let's say I immigrate to Malaysia and I live the exact same lifestyle, just in a different country. I feel like you can get stability through different means, right? So I feel like it's not actually going to be a big change for me. Like, that's why I don't think I'm even like that. I'm kind of like, I'm speaking quite casually about it, right? Because it's just not that big of a deal to me. Like, it's just going to be a different setting. It's like changing your wallpaper on your phone. Like, it's not that deep. But yeah, I realize that, like, probably this comes with experience as well, right? Like, I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and it's really not that big a deal to me. Especially since I know quite a few people there as well. Like it's gonna be so chill. Um, I mean, yeah, I swear, like when I was at university, like half my friends were Greek and half my friends were Malaysian. Like that was the demographic. It was very good vibes. But yeah, why am I stalling on this position? Didn't I already say that it was bishop f4 like ages ago and I just completely forgot? Bishop f4, and then I just take the rook and then take the knight. But is that even enough? Because wait, this is winning a piece back in materials equal. If I give this check, and let's assume that I take, and let's assume they take, and I do this. This is also equal in material. So what am I doing? What am I missing? I don't know. Wasn't there some like crazy checkmate here? Wasn't... Oh, I don't even know. This is why I hate these positions. It's just so annoying to have to get right. Like, imagine you're playing a world champion and then you mess up this position because you just can't think. I know there's too many good looking options. So let me try and narrow it down. So we got like bishop f4 check. We got rook takes e7. Are any other checks that make sense? I mean, rook e6 maybe. I don't buy it. I don't buy rook e6. Give up an exchange for no reason. Oh wait, is that mate? Rook takes, bishop takes. If king here, then I can go check. They can take the pawn. And then I had a mate. I think this is actually checkmate. Jesus Christ. No, it's not because the king can go back. Oh, it's such a... I hate this. I hate this. I'm not going to check chat because obviously you guys have got the answer by now. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't have an answer. Bishop f4 not with the idea to win the rook, but maybe to go for checkmate. Now we can give a check here. And if king takes, then this is checkmate. Okay, so this is definitely the answer then. King here, and then if they go back, but now we can at least take with check, and they can't even take the... Yeah, this is it. I can't believe that took me so long. Like, I think the problem was, I saw this idea in association with winning the exchange, and I was just too quick in my head to be, like, going down this, like, route. I just didn't consider, like, my alternatives here. And somehow it feels wrong to like give this check because it looks like the king is, you're just allowing, you're giving your opponent a tempo to just win a pawn and remove the defense on this knight. But yeah, this is just mating. Yeah. Did any of you guys get this? Okay, loads of comments. What are people saying? Josh, you got it ages ago. Fantastic. Wait, no, that's Frizz got it ages ago. Frizz got it ages ago. I can't read. Yeah, good job, Frizz. I'm Aesthetic Experience. You may remember me. Yes, I do remember Aesthetic Experience. But you've now changed your name to Chess Page 1. But wait, Chess Page 1 is already a channel, is it not? Chess Page 1 is literally already a channel. So, Chess Page 1, you might need to reconsider your name. Chess Page 1 is literally a big channel. Like, they make like these kind of meme chess videos and also some educational videos as well. Bro. Aesthetic, yo, and with the profile picture as well, Aesthetic Experience, bro. You can't copyright them. I'm sorry to call you out like this, but yeah, gotta find your own brand. Maybe call yourself Chess Page 2. You know what? I've actually saved your career. Change your name to Chess Page 2, and you can have that same profile pic and just milk it. Because Chess Page 2 is not Chess Page 1, right? So Chess Page 2, and just make your own channel and make it real good. I would recommend you do this before you get absolutely roasted. It'll be so much better. Please don't go down this route. Oh man. I mean, to be fair though, that is the problem with these anonymous pages, right? You could probably I mean, the guy has 350k subscribers from 19 videos. It's wild. And he's literally got like this whole like school platform, which is also wild, where people are like paying him like huge amounts of money basically just to train tactics. It's like unbelievable, like this whole channel. It's just wild. But to be fair, the videos are like really funny and they're really high quality. Like this Dominator's Black with the Caracan. I remember watching that and I was just like, damn, this is great content. But yeah. Crazy. Welcome Dan to the stream. Sorry for being so slow. Bishop e7, rook e7, mating net. Actually, I guess king d5, yeah. Actually, hold up, I'm wrong. King d5 always free. I think we looked into this line. Maybe. It sounds familiar. Chess Page 2 is good. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Welcome Faz to the stream. Welcome. Okay, let's keep going with the tactics. Hope you're doing well, Faz. Let's keep going. So, intuitively, I just want to sack the rook. I don't know why. For some reason, it feels like it could be good. We could win the exchange back, but I don't know if that's really what we're after. We have equal material in the starting position. Bishop g2. Bishop g2, king g2, queen c6. We pick something up. I have a feeling that like this one was like a red flag. Wait, do you call it a red flag? No, what do you call it? A red herring. A red herring. Yeah, I felt like this one is like a trick, but I can't remember why or what. Is bishop g2 the mistake, or is this actually the correct move? Queen b7 also looks like it's winning, right? Well, not winning, but it looks like it's winning a pawn. So which is it? Here, bishop g. I mean, this is my problem, right? They both look like they work, but probably only one of them does. Is there some problem with back rank issues in some of these lines? Like with like some potential capture and some back rank? Is that something I need to worry about? If I take here, what can they actually do? Am I not just winning a pawn here? I feel like how can that not be? So if bishop takes, king takes, and I go check here, maybe that's a mistake, right? Because if I take, then they can probably take here. No, that's not even working. The queen is defending, so I don't know. This looks like it's working. So what about this? I mean, this is less forcing, right? So maybe they can get away with like some move like this, right? So yeah, it must be this. Yeah. I'm deeping this for no reason. Aha. Yeah, queen b7, king h2, queen b4 only wins one piece. In the game, Silence tried to play on... So this is actually winning more, is it? Rook e4. Aha, and you win a whole rook. But why, like... I guess you're picking up both bishops, right? But in the game, Silence tried to play on... Oh, he's only an exchange down? I'm so confused. Play on an exchange down. Are you not? Aha, okay. Oh, so when it says wins one piece, it's not even like we're like winning a piece, we're just winning back a piece. I think that's I was thinking like this is just a piece up as well or something. And then the other line is like 2 pieces up, and I was like getting confused. But no, this is just being up a pawn because we're winning back the piece that we sacrificed, right? But yeah, this is actually winning more than just a piece, because if the king moves, I guess we take with the rook and we're double attack, right? Okay, I understand. Bishop g2, king g2, queen c6, queen f3, knight h4. Holy crap, what is this line? So if queen f3 here, I mean, I would have just taken the piece and probably not had enough. So knight h4, holy crap, pawn h4, rook g4, that's wild. Yeah, that's some nice calculation. I mean, I wasn't anywhere close. Okay, let's do better this stream. I mean, this exercise. Let's see if we can go deeper. I always find that when you calculate with someone who can go deeper, it kind of inspires you to calculate a bit deeper. So bishop c6 looks like it wins a pawn, right? Because king c6, rook e6 check, king moves. See, I want to just say king moves somewhere, but okay, let's actually put like a square, king c7, right? We take on h6, but then they can take on g3, right? That's actually not so clear. Or is it clear? Where would we go with a king? See, that's actually why calculating deeper is important. So bishop c6, king c6, rook e6, king c7, rook h6. Oh, there's no rook g6. I've got a rook on f3. Oh god, like this is actually so tragic. I'm pretty sure this should be the answer. Okay, I didn't calculate f4. For anyone who was looking at this line, did anyone calculate f4? If so, congrats. And this is the one where I messed up. I think I went here, and basically I put my king on the side of the board, and knight g4 actually... No, knight g4 loses the rook, so what was the... That was some move here, where I was in trouble. Maybe it was just like rook back to g4 or something, threatening this pawn? Yeah, and if takes, then just takes, and somehow... Maybe there's some counterplay here or something. Yeah, because actually your bishop's still on pre, right? So I think you want to take and then go king f2. And again, they still can't do this because we win. So this is... You never want to put your rook king on the side of a board. Aha. What's even going on in this position? So I guess knight g4 is potentially a threat, right? But is it? Is it such a big deal? What if we just like move the bishop or something? You give knight g4. I mean, potentially we can even sack there. Probably not. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, isn't it wild? It's like wild to me, and why I find chess so interesting is that you can really play the game in so many different ways. Like the fact that I scored higher in a rapid, where you would think this kind of tactical ability and calculation would be even more important. The fact that I scored higher than Faz and Caius is just mind blowing, right? Because, you know, that shouldn't happen. Like given this level of tactical ability here. But the point is, like, yeah, you can really play chess in so many ways. Yeah, and just really optimize your skill set. I guess it's like with everything actually. Again, like I'm just going on this random philosophical train of thought, but it's a bit like, let's say, money, right? Like some people can have more money than others, but somehow live a worse quality of life. Like normally in our capitalistic society, having more money should enable you to have a better quality of life. But some people are just like not able to use their money properly, or maybe some people without much money or without much tactical ability are somehow able to live a decent life or a decent become a decent chess player. Like it's interesting. It's really interesting. That's actually, I've never made that link before. Like tactical ability and money. Like I think it's actually a really good analogy. With being like a strong player or being strong at life. Actually, guys, that's a really fun question I want to ask you guys. If you could put like an elo on your level at life, what elo would you give yourself? Like, would you, yeah, like where would you put yourself at? I reckon I've got an elo for myself. Just the first number that came in my head. I've got an elo for myself, like a life elo. Be really curious to hear. This is such an Arjun question. If Arjun has left the stream, I'll be pissed. This is actually such an Arjun question. Okay, I'm suddenly realizing for some reason after having this philosophical thought, suddenly Bishop F3 calls out to me because I basically stopped knight g4. I'm basically securing my king a little bit. Like I'm basically giving myself a bit more breathing space. 100% is the move. It's not the move they want. This is the move they want. Whatever. Bishop F3 is the cool move, controlling g4. I'm 17, so maybe 1700 elo. Are you suggesting, Frizz, that you're gonna gain 100 elo with every year? I mean, that's pretty cool. By 25, you're gonna be 2500. That's pretty sick. 1500 elo? I would say 1800. Wait, what? Like, as in 1800 for me and 1500 for you, or like how? Like what? You just gain 300 elo in like 2 seconds? Whoa, hello chess page 1. So basically this is not chess page 1. This is a scammer, and his name is gonna be changed to chess page 2 after tomorrow. I'll be really disappointed, chess page 2, if you don't change your name to chess page 2. 26 years old. Damn, 1500 elo. 26 years old. How interesting. 1900 elo from Faz. Fair. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'll reveal my elo that I give myself after this next exercise. And actually, I'm very curious as well. One more question is, do you think life is easier or chess is easier to like excel at? I think this is a really interesting one as well. And I've actually got an answer for this, and I've got a good reason why. Actually, it's such a nice point, I want to make it now. So basically, I think that I would say life is easier. Okay, obviously, you know, this comes from a certain level of privilege as well, right? Like if you have a really like difficult starting base, then obviously to make a good life, it's going to be much harder. Like at least with chess, everyone is equal at the start of a game, right? Like you all have the same pieces, right? So okay, there's a certain level of privilege when I say this, but in general, I would say that life is easier in the sense that you can actually excel at life in many different ways, right? There's not kind of like one set way, and that means whatever attributes or strengths you have as a person, you can kind of tailor it in a way to actually excel at life in a completely different way to someone else, right? But with chess, if you are bad at tactics and you are stunted at, let's say, 500 elo tactics, and no matter how much hard work you put in, you cannot improve, that will stunt your potential in chess. There's no way you're getting around it. But with life, I feel like there are very few things that are like absolutely necessary for you to actually be able to excel if you are like built a certain way. So I would say life is actually easier because there are more ways you can get to the top. That's my personal opinion, and that's why I would actually give my life elo higher than my chess elo, because I find life easier than chess. But for sure, I have like a certain amount of privilege. Like I wouldn't say, okay, I just saw my plant is dying, I'm just gonna water my plant. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I it's not like I've got everything handed on a plate to me. I feel like I've also like hustled for a lot and built up. I mean, this whole chess career, it's basically built from the ground up, right? So I feel like, yeah, there's certain aspects that I've also had to like sort out myself, but okay, yeah, no, I mean, I could have, I don't know, been born in like, what do they call the slums in Brazil? Is it like a favela? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've studied like geography. Favela? Like I could have been born in a favela and like been struggling for internet every day, and you know, then it's obviously gonna be really tough, right? Anyway, that's my take. That's my take. Let's see what people are saying. Arjun says life is easier? Interesting. Chess is the most difficult thing to ever exist. Uh-huh. Yeah, I can feel that. I actually don't think it's the most difficult thing. I think there's like, you know, chess is easy, bruh. If chess elo's higher than your life elo, then you need to touch grass. Oh man, yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. But to be honest, I feel like I've probably asked this question before to some people, and I'm pretty sure like the majority of people I've spoken to in the past about this question, they would actually say chess is easier. Which is so interesting. So interesting. I think chess is probably easier to excel in, but it depends a lot on where you start, yeah. Sometimes someone doesn't start with a knight, bishop, or queen in life. That's very true. But I would almost say, even to say that with chess, some people aren't born with like certain tactical ability. I feel like yeah, sure, we all start off with the same pieces, but we don't have the same capacity of how we can use the pieces. Like I think talent is like genuine thing. Like, I mean, you've got some people who say they don't believe in talent. I don't believe in these people. Like, talent is for sure a thing. Like, I mean, as a chess coach, I've seen it firsthand. Like, I've let's say taught the exact same lessons and even tailored it to the kid. But some kids just get it, some kids don't, and it's just true. Like talent is definitely a big part. Go, the black and white chess, is apparently the hardest to master. Yeah, I mean, Go apparently is like more intuitive and less explainable, less logical, right? Like in chess, you can kind of explain certain moves, even very strong moves from GMs. You can kind of like eventually work out the logic. It might be very difficult, but you can eventually work it out. With Go, there are moves where like the top players will play it, it's the best move, and they literally can't explain why. So that's obviously really difficult, right? Like that's, yeah. And that's why like Go computers, like it took a long time before Go computers could beat a Go player, like the top Go players, because how do you program like a Go computer to play the best move on intuition when there's no like logical explanation to it? Like that's just wild, right? So intuition just plays a much bigger part in Go, and yeah, it's just interesting, right? From looking at this just passively, somehow knight of 6 calls out to me. I don't even know why. Probably it's wrong. Like pawn just takes and there's probably nothing. Yeah, we'll make this the last one as well. I didn't realize how late it's got. I've got some stuff to get on with. Somehow I see some potential in this d6 pawn being loose. Yeah, my life elo is definitely better than my chess elo. Holy crap. Like, come on. I'm proud of myself for at least considering queen g6, because this is a move I would never consider normally. Not that it works or anything. Wait, knight f6. So this was my intuition, but knight f6 pawn takes I completely overlooked. I've got queen h4. They don't just have this block because I've got queen f6. Is that winning? So obviously bishop can't block. They can't play king h7 because queen h8. So king g8 is forced. Do we have a move here? Hold on a sec. Knight f6 if pawn takes. Or maybe we can... No. I was going to say change the move order. Like play bishop f6 first. But then if bishop g7, queen h4, queen h5. And we pick up the rook. Right. So knight f6, pawn takes queen h4. No, bishop f6 first. If king g8, queen h4, we also threaten this mate, right? So I think it's knight f6. And I think the idea is to play this first. Okay, so does that mean we can go queen h4 as well? And then maybe we just take with the bishop. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, that's going to be it. Aha. And then just bishop takes. Threatening mate and the rook. Nice, let's go. That one wasn't easy somehow. I don't know why. My plant's elo is 500 without water. Yeah, I'm literally, ruining my plant's life. Yeah. Oh. I hope I didn't accidentally... I almost accidentally timed out Faz. I didn't mean to. Favela in Brazil. Yeah, favela. Born in North Korea, that's worse. You know what? I wonder actually what life is like in North Korea. Like... I actually don't know. Like, maybe it's not so bad. Like, for sure, you lose, like, a lot. That, like, freedom and stuff and a lot of, like, rights. But is it better to live in, let's say, a favela or better and be free but poor, or live in, like, somewhere like North Korea? I actually don't know how unstable and poor the population is. Like, is everyone in poverty or is everyone actually doing all right? How well off is the average person in North Korea? I actually have no idea. North Korea. Oh, that's not a good income per capita. 1.4 million won. But how does that translate? Gross national income. So let me translate that to won to pounds. Is it? Wait, why can't I get the currency converter? Normally Google pops up with like a... Can I not change this to won? They don't have like Korean... Oh, they do have South Korean won. Okay, let's have a look. 1.43 million, right? So let's have a look. Nah, that can't be right. But wait, 7.94 pounds? Okay, no, they're actually screwed. They're actually screwed. That's wild. Didn't realize that. I mean, I knew that like basically, like the all the publicity and that, like it's completely like brainwashed, right? Like a lots of the aspects of like the media and stuff. But I didn't realize what state the people are in. Like I was wondering if it would be like a place like, let's say, UAE, where like the locals are actually treated like really really well. They've got like really great like state benefits. Um, like this kind, like, even though it's kind of like a, I don't know if authoritarian is like too extreme of a phrase for somewhere like the UAE, but they actually treat their locals well. That's kind of like the point I was wondering. Um, but yeah, do you have chess talent, Michael? In your opinion, that's a very good question. I think I do, but it's all relative, right? I mean, I do compared to the average person. I don't compared to like your average IM or GM. Even maybe your average 2200. I don't think I've got chess talent per se, but I do have certain aspects that then allow me to catch up. So I've got certain talent in, let's say, hard work, certain talent in kind of like this kind of warrior mentality of like fighting back no matter what. Certain talent in maybe like my ability to understand certain concepts, which maybe would be harder for like maybe your average chess player. But ultimately, let's say talents in calculation or tactics and this kind of like more hardcore, like mathematical almost ability, I don't think I've got talents there. So yeah, I don't think I mentioned my elo, so I'll end on that. But I the first number that popped in my head was 2300 life elo, but then I was actually thinking maybe it's closer to 24 already. I feel really good about like, yeah, what I understand about the world, and the aspects that I don't understand, like I'm kind of like, it's not that big of a deal. Like of course there's so much about the world that I don't understand, but it's again like what I was saying about how to excel in life there's more ways than in chess. So I'm kind of like paving my own kind of like unique path that I feel like it's, to me, some kind of like excelling, even if it might not be to everyone, but that doesn't matter. It's what matters to me is what matters to me, right? Yeah, and I'd say that that's actually what I'm doing with chess, and I'm in a much better place with chess than I was like a couple years ago. Even if my elo is similar, like I think like I'm on the road to, I feel like I'm on the road to 2200, but interestingly enough, I'm less on the road to GM. I feel like 2 years ago, I was more close to like getting to GM than I would be now. But I'm closer to getting to 2200 now than I was, before. Which is a really weird statement, but it makes complete sense to me. Like, basically, I had a higher potential and higher cap 2 years ago. But now the way that I've kind of like tailored my chess and play my chess, I'm basically pushing for like a lower level, but it's easier for me to attain that lower level. So I think, yeah, it depends what you really want. And for me, I think as a chess player, to play at 2200 would be like a decent level of fulfillment already. Of course, like a GM would be even more fulfillment, but it's like at what cost do you want to go to get to those levels? Yeah. Yeah, that curry exchange is unheard of, right? Like GDP per capita, isn't that like a yearly salary? Isn't that yearly salary? And to have that converted to £7? Like, are there any charities for North Korea? Let me check this out actually. Do they even allow like GoFundMe? Genuinely curious. By the way, just a very, very cool thing that I want to share with you guys, which might inspire some of you guys to do it as well. I didn't vote in the last general election, like a couple weeks ago, and I kind of have like this philosophy about voting, and I feel like with voting, I'm very glad that people vote. I just feel that it's not worth my time, and the reason why I say this is because I feel like your vote, a single vote, is so easily nullified by someone else with completely ridiculous reasons for their voting, right? They might vote because the guy's a guy, not a woman, or some random thing like this, right? And you could say, yeah, maybe then it's important to make your vote, right, to counteract this. But my point is, one vote out of like millions of votes, it's really a drop in the ocean. And if you spend like a decent amount of time and effort and energy to make an informed vote, this would probably take me a good like 2-3 hours, really, to like really read up on like what are the stances of the current Labour government, what are the current stance of the Conservative, put in a good few hours of work, make a conclusion, and then go vote. And that drop is so insignificant to me. I would prefer to spend those 3 hours researching a genuine GoFundMe or research a genuine charity and just transfer them 50 quid. And I feel like for me, because in the past, like I got like some stick from people for like not voting, and I was like, screw it. Like if you're gonna have stick from me about voting, then I'm gonna spend this time and actually do something better with it. So I think the last 2 weeks ago, I sent like some money to this new kind of NGO that's basically trying to sort out online education for girls in Afghanistan. Because in Afghanistan right now, you've got like high school girls and university women who basically aren't allowed to learn because they can't study, and they're literally, their studies are on hold because of the current situation with the Taliban, right? So I did some work in like, because the thing is, you've also got to be careful where you put your money, right? Like you've got some like institutions that are saying that they can help, but maybe it's like, like the money's just being dispersed in all kind of directions. You've got some institutions that are no longer active because, I guess like they kind of like stopped working. But this one was basically this like Australian-led kind of like Afghanistan community, and they've really like really look like they've put in the time and effort and research to really make as best of a solution as they can. And of course, there's no optimal solution, right? I mean, like, half the population are probably struggling with even basic electricity. So how are you going to deal with like online lessons? But they're also trying to find ways around it, like having like offline materials and stuff. Like, anyway, I spent a good 3 hours researching this, and then I made this decision, right? So I feel like this is a better way you can spend your time. But yeah, rant over. Support North Korean defector to achieve mission. So this is actually helping someone who's defected from North Korea. I guess that's the point, right? Like you can't help people within North Korea. Like it's just so closed off. Yeah, wild. 2 North Korean refugees to K-pop stardom? What the hell? Yeah, wild. Interesting. Okay, what have I caught? 2400 elo? No, not of world understanding. No, 2400, close to 2400 elo of, let's say being a good life player, right? Like the same as like a chess player. I wouldn't say like a 2400 chess player is necessarily a 2400 at chess understanding. There are 2400 at playing chess. And I'd say like I'm maybe close to 2400 of playing life. At least what I feel like is a fulfilling life to me. That's my feeling. That's my feeling. Flagrant with Yeonmi Park. You know what, Frizz? I will look this up. I'll watch it at some point. Maybe I'll download it and listen to it on the airplane. Flagrant Yeonmi Park. Thanks for the recommendation. I will check that out. What a thumbnail. What a thumbnail. Can you sell it to me, Frizz? Because the thumbnail was not selling it to me. So if you can sell it to me, I'll check it out. Oh, that's so interesting. What would Donald Trump's life elo be? Wow. I mean, you know what? My first instinct of an answer was 2500. Because although he's an absolute cursed human being and he's literally screwing up the lives of so many, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, your life elo and being a good life player is subjective to you. And if I look at Donald Trump and think of the kind of person he is and what values he has, bro, I mean, Like, whether you like him or not, that photo, which you know which photo I'm talking about, right? Of him getting like shot in the air and like celebrating. That is a sick photo. And I mean, bro, if I was Trump and I had the values of Trump and I had the mindset of Trump and that photo was taken of me, shit man, like I'm feeling the 2500, right? Like I would give him like maybe even 26. I'd give him 2600. I'd give him 2600. That's my feeling. Um Aha, amend your answer to 2200. Interesting. Didn't vote either. Interesting. We are speculating on choosing between poison. Right, to be honest, that's the other thing as well. Like, I feel like in the US, if you were to vote, you are really making a bigger vote, right? Because, like, the Republicans and Democrats, I feel like is a bigger gap between them than, let's say, Labour and Conservative. I feel like it's like Labour is like slight. Oh, I'm not even gonna go into like exactly what they are. They're just very close to the middle and very slight, I would say. So, um, also legitimate not to vote if you think there aren't any good options, right? Yeah. No way, Faz. You're from Afghanistan. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah, I guess I just never asked. Like I just knew you were from Leicester, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, I mean, basically, my interest in Afghanistan started when I read this amazing book. What's the name of the book? What the hell is the name of the book? A Thousand Golden Suns? Is that the name of the book? Is that the name of the book? Oh, A Thousand Splendid Suns. Right, I couldn't remember the name of the book. This honestly one of the best books I've ever read, and at the time of reading it, I was like so like yeah, so amazed by the book. Like I looked into Afghanistan more, and I happened to read it the week when Trump, mother, like excuse my language, but motherfucker, Donald Trump had just signed a treaty with the Taliban to basically withdraw all troops from Afghanistan, and it was the most stupid thing. And literally, all of the Afghanistan media were basically saying like, "Bro, don't do this. This is such a terrible idea." Like Taliban will say one thing, they will just go back on their word. It's happened like time and time again. Please don't do this. Obviously, Trump doesn't give a crap about other countries and just cares about Americans. So the Americans deployed in Afghanistan. This is like a negative thing for Trump, right? And probably from like a political standpoint, like it's not looking good for a lot of the people in the US are like asking like, oh, please get these troops out of Afghanistan. So he just cares about the US, right? So he takes these US troops out, gives all the power to Afghanistan, and not only does he take the American troops out, they leave a bunch of the weapons and all of this kind of like high tech military weapons, just leave it and abandon it. And what would you think the Taliban are going to do? Well, obviously they're going to like take all of these weapons and then just completely run riot, and obviously break every single aspect of the treaty. Has the US gone back in? No, obviously not. I couldn't believe it. Like I read A Thousand Splendid Suns, and then literally this stuff was happening, and I was just like, yeah, this can't be happening. And then of course, like yeah, then like yeah, literally the same month that I read the book, like I think Kabul got invaded, and yeah, all shit went down. And yeah, I mean, Vaz, I'd be definitely interested at some point in having a chat with you about like yeah, to hear more about it, because yeah, it's really an interesting topic to me, and also just a shame that it doesn't get as much like news coverage as let's say Palestine and Israel, right? Like Palestine and Israel, like as much as it's a problem, I feel like, I mean, I mean, okay, like we shouldn't probably compare like these kind of situations, but I would say like I am more upset with the Afghanistan situation, because I feel like there are ways so much atrocity could be avoided. And I mean, with the Palestine Israel, I feel like it's such like a difficult thing to solve. I feel like as bad as it is, it's like how do you even solve it? I feel like with Afghanistan there are ways to do better, and the fact that you know, the people who had the ability to do better just messed up so much. Just pissed me off. Just pissed me off. Donald Trump is 1400 elo understanding, but 2800 practical player. What would Trump's favorite time control be? Yo, these are too abstract for me. I have no idea. Trump's favorite time control? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I mean, when we're associating it with chess, I feel like Trump would be a terrible chess player. I reckon Trump would be like 300 elo, if that. I think Trump would be atrocious at chess. Yeah. Assassinated best Tinder pic? Hell yeah, hell yeah. You grew up in Kabul in the middle of the war zone. That is wild. This book is similar to some of my events during my childhood. That's crazy. I mean, that's why the book was so impactful to me, right? Because like, the book is like a true story for like so many people. That's wild. I don't think I know anyone from Afghanistan, so that's yeah, that's. I mean, I have to talk to you more about this, Fats, at some point. Yeah. Beyond chaotic and downright incompetent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Faz, I'd be very interested to discuss more. Um, I mean, I'd honestly want to visit Afghanistan one day, but probably now is not the right time. But yeah, very very interesting, very very interesting situation. Is it the USA responsibility to stop the Taliban? From a humanitarian point of view, I would say yes at that point. Like, obviously, the situation isn't great, but given how the situation has worsened as a result of US pulling out, I think yeah, just keep the US there. It's not an ideal solution, but like like I at least from my understanding, I probably like Faz can definitely clarify if I'm wrong, but while the US troops, the situation was much more pleasant and peaceful and at least under control. Like the Taliban couldn't just like run riot because there was a resistance. You take away the resistance, and obviously it's all hell breaks loose. I mean, these kind of like, oh, is it US's responsibility? I mean, like, I hate how patriotic and nationalistic like countries can be about this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, they're not actually my country, they're not my people, so sod it. Like, they're just people, like it's one great planet. We're all human beings, for God's sake. Like, where do you want to draw the line? Like, are you going to start, like, drawing the line at states? Are you going to start drawing the line within cities? Are you going to start drawing the line within your own household? Like, where are you drawing the line? And it's like, if you've already got some solution that, okay, it's not perfect, but it's at least something. Like, the fact that if you're going to pull out, you have to you have to pull out in a way that doesn't just cause chaos. And that's exactly why we've got this whole Palestine-Israel conflict in the first place. Because when the UK pulled out of their situation there, they completely left it in a mess. And obviously it's going to be a mess if you leave things in a mess. It's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. And that is why as well, like with let's say voting in the UK, I used to vote, but now I don't, because it's like I can put all of this effort in to actually make an informed vote. And it's completely pointless. It's completely pointless because like, people nowadays are only voting based on the media they consume, and the media is just so twisted. It's like, it's just pointless. It's just completely pointless to me. I don't know. I would prefer spend the time either on chess, doing something I love, and just stay in my little bubble and world and not worry about anything else. And yeah, spend the time either, yeah. And I mean, it's probably a good thing, right? That people were giving me stick for not voting, because it actually caused me to actually start, actually spending some time and donating to people and organizations that are actually doing good in the world. So that's my little giving back, right? Like if I'm gonna spend every day living in this chess paradise and chess lifestyle and not giving a shit about like other people and their circumstances, at least I can at least not waste my time voting and spend that time actually giving back a little. So that's my take on like politics and this kind of stuff. I mean, I really stay out of politics on the whole. I mean, I was quite invested like back in school, but yeah, nowadays, honestly, I had to look up like I think yesterday or something. Who was the current prime minister of the UK? I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know if Keir Starmer was still like the Labour runner or whoever. I don't give a crap. I actually couldn't give a crap. Like, I just don't care. I just don't care. I mean, yeah, I think probably in terms, if that was like a scale of like how nationalistic I am, I'm probably like at the low end for sure. Yeah. Trump's favorite time control would be 20 plus 24. I don't even. Oh, because it's this year. Yeah. Um. Are you kidding me? Trump has a 1400 feet rate? That is wild. That's so funny. This is an interesting conversation to hear as an American. Unfortunately, I'm not informed enough to contribute. Aha. So basically, is this what's your reason for being uninformed? Um. What if they never deployed troops in the first place? I mean, that's the thing, right? How far have you got to go? And this is actually one of... I'm on a roll here, so we'll keep this up. I'm not going to bring up politics again in streams, but that point of what if they never deployed troops in the first place, this is exactly the same point that like mainland China was using when they're basically kind of wrecking Hong Kong. So to give some very, very basic, very short summary of the Hong Kong situation, basically, Hong Kong was governed by UK for, let's say, I don't know, over 100 years. Then in 1997, they made a deal with mainland China that they would pass Hong Kong back to mainland China in 50 years, so long as it was making sure that Hong Kong could still have its own system despite being a part of China. Right? This was the kind of like, there's a big contract, you can read it online, it's public, you can read it. Actually, for the record, the statement, this document actually states that only Kowloon would be given back to China, but China have basically ignored it and just taken back the whole of Hong Kong. Anyway, but this in 97, right? 1997. So you would think 50 years. 2047 is the point at which I got distracted by the donation. Thank you, Average Hater. Yeah, this is an amazing book. But yeah, let me finish what I'm saying here. So, yeah, basically, 2047 is the time where China would be able to have like control of Hong Kong again, right? So the thing is, over the years, in the last like 10, 15 years, China basically already started implementing some kind of new legislator affecting Hong Kong, and it's not actually China making the new legislator, it's basically the Hong Kong officials who are pretty much getting bribed by mainland China to make these new laws, right? So it's not actually China doing it, because that would be like breaching these contracts, but they're basically using like the officials as like puppets to basically make these laws, right? And one of the very interesting situations that came up was this extradition bill that came out. And this is so interesting, right? Because you probably heard, right? There were some protests in Hong Kong, like everyone coming to the streets to protest. And this protest was basically about this extradition bill. So what is this extradition bill? So the extradition basically stated that if you do something illegal in Hong Kong, we can extradite you and bring you into a mainland Chinese court. And mainland Chinese courts, at least to my knowledge, at least from my research, have a 98% conviction rate. 98% of court cases, you're guilty. 98. And the thing is, what China can deem as illegal, they were trying to pass a law that basically says that you can't speak badly about China. Very vague law, right? If you speak badly at China, we can extradite you, put you in a court in China, and we can send you to jail. How do you determine what counts as like saying something bad about China? This basically means you can't do any protests against China if this bill passes. If this bill passes, then you can't do any protests, because if you protest against China, then that's saying bad about China. You go to China, you get in jail, then that's it, right? So people were protesting on the street. That's why everyone was on the street, because they were like, yo, if this bill gets passed, we are screwed. We are screwed, right? incredibly, China actually withdrew the extradition bill because there was so much press conference, so much pressure from the West, so much pressure from everywhere. China ended up blaming Carrie Lam, the executive chief of Hong Kong at the time, for basically being like, oh, like, it's so funny, right? Like, Carrie's the puppet, and they basically forced Carrie to like do this. And then as soon as it looks bad, they're like, oh, Carrie, like, why would you do this extradition bill? Like, oh, that's so like out of touch, like, so basically withdrew the extradition bill, and that was it. The protest stopped, and that was it. And for the first time ever in Hong Kong's history, a protest was actually successful in achieving something, right? And the worst thing is, you probably don't know what happens next, right? Because there's no coverage on this. You probably don't know what happens next. You know what happened? During the pandemic, when everyone is focused on the pandemic, they pass a different law, which is, rather than have the courts in China where they can sentence people in Hong Kong, they pass a law that allows Chinese courts in Hong Kong so that they can actually, they don't even have to extradite the people. They can basically just do the criminal situation in Hong Kong, and the people can go to jail for trash talking China, and they passed that during the pandemic, in the height of the pandemic, where basically there was so much fear about COVID that people wouldn't protest as a result of fear of getting COVID. And people did protest anyway and risked their lives, but ultimately it didn't get enough momentum, right? Because there's COVID, and obviously the rest of the world doesn't give a crap about what's happening in Hong Kong because there's COVID, right? They've got bigger things in their own countries to deal with, so they're not gonna, not even bigger things, right? They've just like got their own things to deal with in their own countries. So they're not, like, people are happy to help when like it's, it looks good to help out and stuff like this, but as soon as they've got their own problems, screw everyone else. They can sort their own stuff out. So this it's not an extradition bill, but this kind of like this little tweak of like the law basically meant everyone left Hong Kong. Like, all of the biggest like protesters, all of the biggest leaders, they all fled Canada, US, UK, Australia, everywhere, and basically, huge mass emigration. Now Hong Kong is going to become another Chinese city. It's already changing. In primary schools, for instance, Cantonese is the main subject that it's taught in. Now it's basically taught in Mandarin in primary schools, local primary schools. And okay, you might think, language is not that big a deal. Like, who cares like what language they speak in? But it's the start of basically eradicating like a culture. And what I want to say is that the reason why I brought all of this up is because of Arjun's question, right? Arjun said, let me scroll up so I don't misquote him, what if they never deployed troops in the first place? And what China was arguing, which is a point, the UK basically took Hong Kong from China, right? In the same sense that you're kind of deploying troops in a country and you're affecting its culture. Like, what if you didn't deploy the troops in Afghanistan in the first place? Maybe Taliban would be, doing their own thing, and this would be fine, right? But the point being, I feel, is that if a culture has established, right? Let's say UK have come into the country for 100 years already, and there's 100 years of culture surrounding this change, that counts for something, right? That is actually some new kind of existence of some kind of culture, some kind of art, some kind of people, right? There are people who are Hong Kongers who have come from that 100 years of situation. And I think that is something to be valued. Like, I really take pride in like things that, are kind of unique and have a certain value. And the Hong Kongers, like, that's the thing, right? If the Hong Kongers were like, we've been like kind of like, under UK occupation, we've hated it, and we can't wait to go back to being a part of mainland China, then fair enough, right? Like by all means. But the majority, like mass majority, 90%, I don't want to quote exact numbers. I knew the stats like when I was really passionate about this stuff a few years ago. But yeah, it was something like 80-90% off the top of my head were easily for independence, right? Either independence or just stay under the UK regime and just continue being Hong Kong. Because, I mean, basically being a Hong Kong is a pretty nice life, right? Like, the economy is booming. You're kind of this, like, middleman between, like, the West and East Asia, and that brings in a lot of profit, right? And people have a good quality of life. People have a great quality of life. So they don't want to lose that. And ultimately, yeah, they're going to have to. So, the question of, what if the troops weren't there in the first place? I feel like, to me, if a culture and way of life has been built up as a result of the troops in a way that is positive for the people, then that is something that needs to be maintained. If you just remove it and you let things revert back to a point where things are actually worse for the people, then you are doing an injustice for those people. That is my opinion on it. So, should US withdraw the troops? Only if they have a solution for the people that they're withdrawing from. If they don't have a solution and they're going to make their lives absolute hell, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Like, you can't do that. Like, you have a duty to stay back. So I really feel like this is I don't know. This is at least how I see it. But yeah. That's my rant. And yeah, I mean, like, politics, I really do find it interesting, but at the same time, it completely drains me. And I am actually a very simple person. Simple person. At least I want to be a simple person, right? I just don't want to, like, I don't like getting so invested in this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, on occasion, fine, but like if I were to be a politician, my God, like my life would be hell. My life would be hell. I much prefer chess. It's completely chill. It's completely, you know, it's its own bubble, right? Like you basically live in your own fantasy, right? Which is what I like to do. Like, why face reality when you can live in a bubble, live your best life in Malaysia, and you know, have a great time, right? Like you know, I think you have the right to be a little bit selfish. But yeah, I mean, okay, it sounds like I know a lot. I mean, I don't know a lot. Like, there's a lot of aspects of, let's say, history that I know nothing about. Like, let's say the Vietnam War. Like, I was talking to someone today about it, and yeah, I know nothing about it. Literally nothing. Like, I didn't study history at GCSE. I literally know nothing. But certain topics which I've, like, researched in, and yeah, I know a fair amount. But yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is, like, one really futile aspect of this kind of stuff is all of this knowledge, like, unless you're actually going to do something with it. And for me, like, donating £50 to this Afghanistan charity is at least doing something with it. But, like, if you have all of this knowledge and you're just like, oh yeah, that's great, I have this knowledge, and you don't actually do anything about it, I feel like that's just as much of a disservice compared to someone who, you know, doesn't know anything about it and doesn't do anything. Like, it's like ultimately the impact is the same. So, and that is the thing as well with UK politics. I said to myself that I'm either not going to vote and not going to bother, or I'm either going to get really into it, make my vote, and also try and make an impact on the people around me so that they also make the right decision, right? But if I'm just going to put as much effort in to make my own vote, like, bruh, it's just such a waste of time. Like, just such a waste. Like, but ultimately, no, people have to vote. People have to vote if we want to see a good change. So I'm not advocating for people not to vote. I'm advocating for myself. That is not worth my time to vote. That's how I go. Yeah. I have Tibetan friends, and they're basically experiencing an erasure of their language and culture. You know what? I had the wildest conversation with a Tibetan guy. I was at a party, and one of the friends of the birthday girl who I was attending the party was Tibetan, right? And I briefly talked to him about this kind of stuff because, I mean, like, you know, Tibet has basically experienced a much worse version of what's happening to Hong Kong. And he had a wild. He's Tibetan, right? His family are in. I don't know if his family is still in Tibet. I think he's got some family still in Tibet. He had come to the conclusion that people are all people, and basically what's happening in Tibet is okay, because basically, I can't even remember what his reasoning was. It was kind of like, you know, I can't even remember like how he got to the logic. Like, he definitely had some logic. I just felt it was completely twisted, but it was kind of like justifying, like, yeah, justifying it because it doesn't really matter who controls who. Basically, yeah, it doesn't matter if like the culture changes. Like, it's basically gonna be like, maybe they'll grow up like Han Chinese instead or something, and it's fine. Like, people will just be people, and the culture will change, and it's fine. I can't remember. And I literally can't remember. I wish I kept his contact. Maybe I could ask him about it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, just yeah, politics, man, politics. It's always interesting, but I don't know, not. Bruh, I wanna be like I wanna be my 2200 chess Gurgenitsa playing, you know, chess nerd, but just doesn't have to deal with this crap. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a place of privilege, right? But I feel like that's the other thing as well. Like, you can't blame yourself for trying to make the most out of your life because others can't make as much out of their lives. Like, I think if you do that, then it's a really, really difficult life you're gonna live, and just a lot of like unhappiness and just sadness. Not even unhappiness, just sadness, right? You're just gonna be so sad about the world. So it's better not to be sad, right? Better not to be sad, and better just to do as much as you can without it kind of like really weighing on your head. Unless you make that your sole purpose, then man, go for it, man. Go for it. Like, if any of you watching this stream actually hears this and is like, I'm gonna like go for it and try and help and sort out a situation. Like, some of the people working for these NGOs, like, absolute respect for them, and like, it's so cool what they do. Like, if you can do that, yeah, hat off to you. Like, amazing, absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's definitely gonna take a toll. At least it would for someone like me. So I can't do it. At some point, I really wanted to, actually. I really wanted to, like, but yeah, like I got involved with like some refugee work back in like first year, second year of uni. I even had a big project, Chess for Refugees, that I really wanted to take off, and I was doing a lot of planning for it, but I realized I didn't know enough about chess, and I didn't know enough about refugees to make it work. I think I was even in school. I think I was in sixth form, where I was like trying to sort out this Chess for Refugees. I even had this chess for homeless kind of project that was going. I had so many of these ideas, but it's just like I realized like I don't know shit about like the real lives of refugees, and I don't know shit about being homeless. And it's like, for me to try and impose my solutions on a situation I know nothing about, it's literally foolish. So it would do better for me to literally give money to someone who knows what they're doing than for me to try and start up something myself. That's the kind of situation I kind of realized I was in, and also it really burnt me out as well. It really burnt me out. So I'm definitely living a selfish life right now, for sure, and I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with it. Yeah, I think it's fine. I've kind of got to the. I don't know if this is the right opinion, but I kind of feel like with people in this world, as long as you're not doing like a net negative to like the people around you and the general world itself, I'm cool. I'm chill with that. Like, if you're actively, messing up significant numbers of people's lives, like Donald Trump, like fuck that guy, man. Like I'll give him 2600 elo for his own life, but like nah, actually triggers me, like some of the shit that he's actually managed to pull off. But yeah, sad world. But yeah, this is definitely off topic, and I have a flight to catch tomorrow. I haven't packed. I need to sort out this stuff for my students, so I'm definitely gonna gonna head off. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I hope you guys learned something other than chess for once in this stream. Yeah, beware of those who present themselves as experts. Yeah, I mean, I have talked to some legitimate experts in these kind of fields, and they're honestly such amazing people. Such amazing people. Yeah. Don't put yourself down too much in your insight. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Faz. And I feel like actually this stream, like what I've done just now, like I appreciate like, yeah, this kind of like, this kind of conversation is actually very useful, right? And this is why I still believe like, you know, like protests, as kind of futile as they are in many respects, like the fact that you're still kind of, you know, getting that tiny bit of exposure out about this topic, like it's something, right? So yeah, chess for prisons. I've looked into this as well. Like chess for schools and communities, they have a really active chess for prisons community. You know what? I had one of the most amazing nights of my life in California. I used to date a girl from California. Whole different story. I won't get into it. But I basically got dropped off. I don't know why. I think she had to like go someplace, but she dropped me off at 5 a.m. This was under my request, by the way. Like I didn't just like get stranded, right? I got dropped off at 5 a.m. in a chess park where only homeless people and ex-prison convicts would go. And I spent the whole day there just chatting to inmates and homeless people and playing chess with them. And it was such a vibe. And they weren't bad as well. And the stories I heard, man, it was so good. And I was just there, like just sitting at a table and yeah, just chilling with these guys. It was great. It was great. Like, yeah. I don't know. Chess for Prisons, definitely a great initiative. Yeah, raising awareness is not sufficient for me. Hopefully my ambitions fuel me on. Honestly, Vaz, if you're doing anything like with Afghanistan or like having plans to do stuff, I'd love to hear them. Like even if like I don't get involved actively, like even like just I don't know, trying to help in whatever way would be awesome. What do you plan to do in Malaysia, bro? Like I'm not gonna dox myself by showing you guys my Airbnb, but oh, my Airbnb is so nice. It's like imagine a 5-star hotel, give it like a couple extra stars, and then like paying like less than I'm paying right here in Loughborough. Like life is good, there. Life is good, and the food, and the people, and the vibes, and the public transport, and the community, and the everything, man. It's just sick. So yeah, I'm gonna be having a good time. Basically, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be having a good time. I don't think I'm gonna be staying in like Malaysia and East Asia forever. I just feel like I need a change, and I feel like it's nice to just treat yourself, right? Like why not? Oh, where was this park? This was, I think they called it Muscle. Isn't it Muscle Beach in LA or something, like Muscle Beach or something? There's a chess park there. I played like no, I didn't play in a tournament. I witnessed a junior tournament there, and I played a bunch there, but I never actually played a tournament there. Yeah, isn't it like Muscle Beach or something in LA? Yeah, I can look this up. Also, thank you for the donation, Average Hater. You really didn't have to. But yeah, fantastic book. Muscle Bay, LA, Beach or something like this. Yeah, Muscle Beach, Santa Monica. Yeah, this was the place. They have like a bunch of like gym like kind of equipment, and you get bodybuilders there all day every day, and then you've also got like a chess park, I think. Yeah. But yeah, very cool stream. Thank you guys all for tuning in. And yeah, thanks for your questions as well. Like this is oh, Arjun, what a good question. Is inaction a net negative? I mean, I know I said I wouldn't talk about smoking weed on the stream, but Arjun, at some point we've got to. I mean, a part of me like is not smoking up. I haven't smoked up in a long time actually, because it's a weird kind of fear, which I know is completely unjustified. But I have this fear that because my chess is going so well recently, I'm like wondering like, oh, you know, I don't want to mess with anything in my brain, right? Chess is obviously a game to do with the brain. I don't want to like touch anything. that might mess with like my good form. But it's completely unjustified. I could definitely smoke up right now. I'd be completely fine tomorrow. I've done the research. I know it's completely fine. But still, there's some stupid paranoia due to basically other people's stigma about the drug, which has basically caused me to have stupid stigma about the drug, and it's just stupid. But in any case, my point being, Arjun, like we could definitely smoke up at some point before I head to Malaysia, but I'll have to see. We'll get in touch. But these kind of questions, right? Like this inaction is a net negative. I mean, when you have these kind of questions and you're high on weed, the amount of depth, like you heard how insightful this conversation was. I feel like this conversation would be a level higher or 2 levels higher, and it would just be you'd just be getting to places where you're just on such a level of like enlightenment about like whatever topic you're talking about. Obviously, that's not all the time when you smoke weed. Anyway, if you want to ask me more about weed, we'll do that off stream and do that somewhere else. But yeah, really, really, really good shit. Yeah, Venice Beach, exactly, says Spacely. Yeah, Muscle Beach, Santa Monica. Yeah, noted. If you're ever in LA, definitely check it out. It's cool. Yeah. Okay, guys. That was fun. Let's avoid politics in future streams just to keep it nice and chill, and just help me train chess, because I need all the help to train chess I can. I procrastinate so much. So yeah, that would be great. And yeah, thanks for joining, and see you guys tomorrow. Probably not on my laptop. I think I'm gonna pack up my laptop tonight. So probably I'll just do like a quick phone stream, maybe even in Serbia. We'll see. So yeah, gonna play some Rapid and Blitz, and see you guys then. Adios.